Gabe, where's Gabe? Okay, well, I can talk about it now. Gabe had an idea to start this show a few years ago. And he called me up and he said, Jack, you know, I'm going to start a pinball show. What do you think about it? You know, I said, well, I'll be your first sponsor. I think it's going to be great. There's no show up yet. So I was really happy to do it. And, you know, I suckered in Mike the Donor from Automated Services. And
I haven't talked to him.
he's there. Yeah. And Adam Bortolucci is a sponsor also with his company too, and a few other sponsors. So Gabe is, we try to look past Gabe when we do these things as a sponsor. You know, we look beyond him, right? You know, I mean, we love him, but we can't stand him. You know, he's really a good guy. But, you know, he works really, really hard. His whole team works really hard. So I just want to, on behalf of everybody, I want to thank him for putting on this show. And anybody that's trying to videotape me, you know, I'm going to give you a hard time because I'm going to be moving around a little bit here and there, maybe. You know,
I'm filming other people, not you.
what's that? Look at another guy. So, yeah, let's get started. I don't even know what these are. Maybe I'll, I almost fell over your bag there, by the way, whoever that is.
Yeah, step on his computer, that'll be great.
Okay, so we're in Sturbridge, and it's very cool. Who is here and it's their first time at this show? Wow. Gabe, look at all these suckers. I mean, look at all these people here for the first time. Look at all these people here that you got the first time. Look at that. Yeah, really. I just think the show gets better and better every year. In spite of you doing it, it gets better and better every year. You know, the people, they just come and they love it. It's a great venue. I didn't sleep in my room last night with the lights on. Everything was fine. You know, the hotel is very good and the pizza's good. So what do I have to complain about? All right, Butch.
Hey,
You're
by
gonna,
the way, I just
let me
stopped by
introduce.
the front desk on the way down, and they told me the pool's open till midnight again tonight. And I said, "Oh, great." They said,
Oh,
because
well,
of the
you
pinball show.
got that second
I said,
floor
I had to
room.
think.
You got a balcony, right? Overlooking the pool.
Hooting and hollering till midnight.
Well, maybe you could do a jackknife off the balcony into the pool.
I could throw a jackknife.
So everybody, that's Butch Peel. Butch, stand up. Sit down, stand up. So Butch is one of our electrical engineers. What, somebody texting me. Wow, is that rain?
Yes.
Wow. Be happy Gabe changed this from an outdoor venue.
I rolled your windows down, Jack.
Yeah, as long as you didn't put the top down on my car, I'm okay. So Butch Peel is one of our electrical engineers, and Butch famously does the game manual. And he's working on a dialed-in manual right now. So that's coming shortly.
Not right this minute.
There's an online version of it, so it's working out. And Dave Thiel, anybody meet Dave before? Dave, I'm really proud to say that Dave does work for Jersey Jack Pinball, and he's spectacular. He really cares about what he does. He doesn't just take a job and phone it in. He really takes it personally. I've been to his home. I met his lovely wife. I've been to his studio. One of his dogs bit my leg. You know, so
Smart dog.
you know, it's been a great. Yes.
Pizza's ready to run now.
Pizza's ready. Bring the pizza in. Yes, please. Without any further ado. You know, I'm from Brooklyn. Anybody here from Brooklyn? Where the hell is Pete Rose from Sunshine Laundromat? Where is he? Wait, did he go home or what? I'm going to take the slide out if he went home. Anybody else here from New York? Any Yankee fans here? Hey, Yankees! Okay, calm down. All right. Never mind. Go Red Sox. Okay. All right, go Red Sox. Sorry about it. Anybody vote for? Never mind. We're not going. Yeah, really. You know, there's a lot that brings us together as people that love pinball. You know, and the love of the game, and a nice free slice of pizza. You know, that's typically what brings us together. So they're going to bring in some food now. What we'll do is we'll let everybody grab food. There's nobody after us anyway, right?
That's right.
So we can have this room till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
But
You know, whoever.
there is a fire juggling act outside if it stops raining. So
So this is what you're missing right now. By the way, that's what you're missing. You got this on video? You go out there with that camera, will you?
I ain't going out.
Ah, you chicken. Chicken. All right. So, let's take a couple questions before we tell you anything. Anybody got any questions? Yes. What's your name and where do you come from?
Nick from Mars.
Okay, Nick from Mars. What's your question?
Would you ever consider doing a music band?
Yes.
Nice.
Next question.
Nice.
Yes.
Where are you
Where are you from?
I'm Rick from Andover,
I
Massachusetts.
thought he was going to say he was Rick from Mars.
Yeah.
Rick from Andover. Maryland?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Okay. Where are you located in New Jersey? And you have a showroom, an arcade? Can we come there?
So we have a pinball factory. There's really only, I would say, a couple in the United States building pinball machines. We're in Lakewood, New Jersey. It's a beautiful garden in the Garden State. Anybody can tell really my accent, I'm from Brooklyn. So transplanted to New Jersey. I wound up with the Jersey Jack name because I write for a column, a trade magazine, Replay Magazine. So Eddie Adlam, the editor, called me Jersey Jack, and I called him up and I said, I'm not from Jersey, that name's not a good name. And he said, well, we thought of some other names for you, and they were worse. So now you're Jersey Jack. So that's how that whole thing happened, and it wouldn't be Jersey Jack if we weren't building games in Jersey. So you're welcome, everybody is welcome to come to the building anytime. Come with open, closed, mostly open, right? If you want a tour, everybody gets in touch with Jen, my daughter, typically. Anybody ever deal with Jen? Anybody here? Yeah. So, yeah. So get in touch with her. You can drop in on us. We'll give you a tour. We'll show you how the donuts are made.
The first question will be, what did my dad tell you?
No, we get people to stop by all the time. We let everybody in. Anybody else got a question? Gabe, where is the pizza? That's the question. Yes. Oh, this is going to be dangerous because this kid this morning, he was asking you questions.
Yeah, don't let him near Gabe.
I couldn't follow him. He's too bright for me.
So what about that soundtrack release for Dialed In?
All right, we'll have to figure that out. Talk to our agents. He was asking, what's your name?
My name's Ryan.
Ryan?
Ryan, yes.
Ryan, yeah. Ryan, yeah, where do you come from, Ryan? Yeah.
Right from, yeah.
I come from Plainville, Massachusetts.
All right, at least not from Mars.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ryan asked this morning if we would consider making a dialed-in soundtrack that would be for something. And here comes the pizza! Mamma mia.
Wow, sir.
Okay. Maybe, you never know. We're trying to make games right now, not soundtracks. But, it's not a bad thing. Dave, what's your idea about getting people up here? Because, like, if 100 people get up at once, I only count, like, I don't know how many slices. Is this going to be like last night where the food ran out? If the food runs out now, I'm going to knock somebody out.
Well, I have an idea. So,
But they make the pizzas here, right?
yeah.
You guys make the pizzas here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not going to run out. We'll have to order more if you guys keep eating.
They'll run out of ingredients.
Oh, they won't run out of ingredients. It's like me running out of parts for pinball.
That never happens.
Doesn't happen. Oh. I mean, let me ask you, how many ingredients? You think there's more ingredients in that or dialed in? What do you think? You got flour, water, right? Sauce, okay? A little garlic powder, oregano, mozzarella. What else? An oven. Why didn't I open a pizzeria instead of a pinball company? For God's sake? It's a lot easier, right? But how many pizzerias are there in the world, and how many pinball companies are there in the world? I didn't want to do anything easy. I didn't want to do
Nobody asked
that.
for a pizza soundtrack.
Right, that's true. Figure it out.
Front row.
Okay, front row. I'm going to be in the front row. All right, you Gavones go first. Come on up. Anybody know what a Gavone is?
Doesn't sound good.
What's a Gavone? From what they found. Somebody, please. You sit down, you're not in the front row. Be careful, you walk into that guy with a pizza.
I'm in the front row.
This is going to take a long time to do this. Is there a better way to do this? Why don't we put like one on each row or something like that, right? Outside? I don't know. Listen, I wasn't in charge of it, I'm just paying for this. Yes. Zombie Eddie, everybody. The spectacular artist. Does anybody know his real first name?
I don't think he's possible.
Did you ever do a pizza themed game?
You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Right.
did have a pizza on the playfield that spun around, right? So,
Someone did do it.
so it's Turtles. It's Turtles. Alan Seahawks here. I know, Alan, you must have a question for me, right? When are you getting your third dialed in game, right?
When's the next title reveal?
Well, it's not today, I'll tell you that. Not today. You know, I gave somebody a lesson this morning at one of the booths out
You
there.
asked me a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop dodging the question, Jack.
You know, I think we'll announce it when we're ready to announce it.
Gabe would appreciate it though.
Gabe, yeah, Gabe wants to break news on his show. Mike, you got anything to say?
I'm very happy with the job you're doing, Jack. You're a great guy, a great family.
No, I don't talk about me.
Oh,
You're a great guy. How's the show? Are you gonna come back next year?
Amazing show.
The show sucked or is it
No,
good?
it's a great show. So much positive energy, so many new people here. It's wonderful.
There you go. That's what I want to hear. What kind of beat do you want to do? Anything.
Are there any dialed-in in Manhattan? Are there any dialed-in pinball machines to play in Manhattan? Below the Pioneers on West 29th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues. They got the first dialed-in in New York. I'll raise my hand, yeah. Yeah, it's a guy who works really hard, that's for sure.
Hey, Jack, how come he got his machine before me?
He probably ordered it before you.
Because it's on location.
Everybody only gets games in the queue in which they were. We got another row we're calling here. You keep calling rows. David, you're not supposed to eat. You're like supposed to eat last.
Oh, I'm sitting in the first row by some coincidence.
You know, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. And all that stuff.
And you let him pick which row to go first too? Really? Come on.
All right.
Oh, this is really disruptive.
Okay,
This idea
third
is
row.
about pizza and this thing anyway.
Let's play game.
I know. You guys, come on, go this way or that way. You know, hurry this along.
Both sides.
Good.
Okay, so first shot I have here is the organizer of the show, Gabe, and he's playing it dialed in. Gabe, did you buy it dialed in?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one I want.
There you go. Gabe bought a game. Who'd you buy it from?
Mike at Automated Services.
There you go. Shameless plug for Mike at Automated Services. Big Mike. Big Mike's our #1 distributor, but all of our distributors are really important to us. But Mike and his daughter and his whole company, they really do an amazing job to support everything he sells, not just pinball machines, but everything. Pinballs.com. You know, my website was pinballsales.com for many, many years, but I always thought Mike ripped me off with the pinballs.com. He was a lot smarter than me. He just got the word. He doesn't need the sales part. It's obvious you're going to buy the thing. What do you need the sales word for? All right, let's go to the next one there, bud. So, yesterday when we got here, was it yesterday? It seemed like about a week ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday when we got here, Butch and I did an unboxing of the dialed in. So I've been wanting to do this for like forever about Wizard of Oz or Hobbit, but never really had a good opportunity to do it. So what we did yesterday was we went in that quiet room across the hall, and we closed the door, and we had a couple people in there, and we opened the box. We took everybody on a little step-by-step, according to the instructions, how to open a dialed-in game and set it up and everything like that. I think we hit most everything. If there are any questions, what will happen is we posted the video, and then the video will live on our website. So, and the next thing we'll do, Dan at the factory is going to chop up the video, and he's going to make it into like an FAQ kind of thing. So if you have a question, you know, how do I take the lock bar off the game? How do I take the glass off the game? I'm going to move. How do I lower the volume, or how do I do this and that? We'll chop up the section of that video, and it'll be up there. And really, this is especially helpful because we have a lot of new people buying pinball machines now, first-time people. Are there any first-time people in the room that bought their first, only have one pinball machine. Only have one right now. Bought one pinball machine. Bought one, there you go, one pinball. So you see, the hobby side of things are growing, and the commercial amusement side of things are growing. So it's really cool. So we want to really get everybody a little bit more comfortable with owning a game. Not everybody, we didn't expect everybody to pop open the game and start changing FETs and things like that, but we want you to know about it. You may not get into it, but at least you know about it.
So the rest of us can tell you what happens after the first game.
Right. Well, after the first game, they multiply because it's like having potato chips or a slice of pizza. If anybody wants more pizza, just get up and take it because there's more pizza there. So you're not disrupting anything. Tommy, I would guess you would be the second guy in line. And God bless you. I love you. No, come on, get up there. You disappoint me if you don't even at least have the product. Disappoint me. So go to the next one there, Butchie. Hi. How we doing today? You've been filming this whole time, man. Yeah. That's cool. I know, you're at every seminar. There's a picture of the Fantastic Five. And so you have Butch and Gabe and Mike Dodona and Dave Thiel and me. And Butch has his suitcase still packed. I think that was yesterday when
You got
he
yours
just got
there
here.
too, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. All right, go to the next one.
More than just a pinball guy.
So at our factory, what's really cool is that we're doing what a pinball machine company is supposed to do. We're building games. Right now we're at about 10 or 11 games a day, which is great because we were at 4 or 5 and 6 and 7 and 10 and 11, and we'll get up to 15 or 16 or 17, wherever it gets to a day. The really cool thing about it is that we have, we had about 1,000 games on order before we started building games. And it's really an amazing kind of thing when you think about it that, you could take deposits for 1,000 or something, and a good thing, a pre-order this time was a lot shorter than Wizard of Oz. Who bought a Wizard of Oz? Here. Who? Okay, great. Who has a Hobbit? Okay. So, you had to wait a long time. We showed this game at Expo, and that's, in 6, 7, 8 months ago. So the waiting time is getting shorter. One of these days we'll actually, hopefully, show a game and have games in boxes ready to go. And really, it's kind of a dream. So it's really cool to see all the stuff in the building as it comes in. What happened, and I think you can go back one, Butch. Yeah, maybe go forward one, Butch. So what we did was we had John Yassi create, no, go one more. We had him create some different artwork on the back box of the cabinet. We featured the flying saucers a little bit more. And we put the Quantum City in there just to break it up a little bit. And I think everybody was really happy with the change in that. When we introduced the game, right, everybody was like, dialed in, what kind of name is that? The guy with a phone and all that, This is what happens when you do an original game. I remember going to a show and the game was Donkey Kong. And I said, what the heck is Donkey Kong? And after playing it a while, I said, I love Donkey Kong. And I went to the show and I had Pac-Man. And I said, what the heck is Pac-Man? And I played it a little while and I loved it. I knew that this game would capture everybody's imagination because it brought us even further into the future because you can download the Jersey Jack Pinball app, you can flip flippers, you can launch the ball. It takes a selfie, it has a camera in the game, right? So having a camera in the game, when I was an operator in the 70s, my dream was to get like a Polaroid camera and put it at the top of the game, and when there was a high score, like somehow it would take your picture. But I couldn't figure out how to do that. That's kind of ridiculous. Somebody in Brooklyn was just ripped off the camera right off the game. So the first opportunity I got to put a camera in the pinball machine, I was putting a camera in the pinball machine. And I think it's really cool how our team made it work with the selfies and waving at the screen to scratch off the lottery ticket. And it's, pinball has always been a snapshot. And you have a great designer in the room too, Barry Osler. Right, Barry? Barry's a great guy. And Barry can tell you, designing something, it's, you don't always get it right. You don't always get it right. He got it right with all of his games. But, to try to anticipate what a customer base, player base wants is difficult if you don't know the market. fortunately, I do believe I know the market. So I believed with this game that I knew what the customer base wanted before they knew it. And doing an original game, doing an original theme, it's risky, but you know what? Getting out of bed in the morning is risky. So you built the pinball company, you built an original game. Every game builds on the game before it. All right, let's go, keep going. Those are just, cabinets that hang out there, gone. The assembly line, I never get tired of looking at that. Sometimes I may have to go to the building on a Saturday or a Sunday after church or something like that, and I'll go in there and just put the lights on, and I'll walk around, and I'm still, I still kind of marvel that there's a pinball factory there, and that we're doing what we're doing, because that was never really a dream of mine. I didn't, be a game operator, be a technician, be a distributor, be an operator, and say, one day I'm going to start a pinball company. That's what I'm going to do. It's the last thing in the world I would have done. Pinballsales.com, I was Stern's biggest distributor. I knew how difficult that was. I remember walking around with Gary Stern and he's picking up screws off the floor at the end of the day. I'm saying, this is kind of nuts. Now I walk around and pick up screws. So he's not nuts. That's what it is. Go ahead. That's the QED dude. What's his name? The Quantum Electric
dude.
Quantum Electric dude. And he's it's kind of funny to see them all together. I used to like seeing all the witches together. But now we got a lot of different toys there. Go one more. And Betty's all there. There's little Betty's. And it's kind of crazy to see all these pods come out of the parts department of the building. Elvis in the house! Elvis! Oh my God, come on, have some pizza, Elvis.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Everybody, Elvis is in the building. That guy, if you want anything moved, this is the guy to get. Okay, this is the guy to get right there. Great guy. He works for Automated. Mike tells me Elvis will be in your building at 3 o'clock. I don't know if it's AM or PM, but he's there. He's there. Go ahead, keep going. So that's the final test line, and that's always a really nice thing to see. That's the last place game goes. There's a big long checklist that we go through to make sure every game is perfect. Now, I will tell you this, and I learned this from selling and operating many, many games. Anybody that builds anything, it's a hand-built product, I can tell you every single one of those games is different. They all use the same parts that came from the same vendors. But every one of them may play a little bit different. They may have some different things about them. So they're all kind of snowflakes. They're all individuals. And it's really cool to tune them all up and dial them all in so they really work well. Next. Yeah, just another shot. That's a good thing. So every show, I've been on the show circuit, especially since we've released this game. So every weekend, I'm somewhere else. Next weekend, I'll be in the UK. I'll be in Brisbane, or Brisbane, whatever it is, in the UK next Saturday. I'll be in Manchester next Sunday. The week after, on Sunday, I'll be in Brooklyn at Sunshine Laundromat. The week after, I'll be at Replay FX in Pittsburgh. So, I'm like dog poop. I'm all over the place. And really, it's a lot of fun because we get to be kind of evangelists and show pinball to the world and show what we're doing. And the kind of cool thing is I get to be with people like you. A lot of you are customers, the friends form, and it's really a great experience. So I love it. People say to me like friends, people follow me on Facebook, other people I know in the industry, not in the industry, and they're like, don't you get tired of doing that? Like the travel, is that like something bad? Honestly, I get energized by it. It's exciting. I could be sitting around with my thumb up in the air doing nothing. So really, I'm the luckiest guy in the world, and I thank God for it, because it's really cool.
I could be sleeping at night instead of listening to the guys in the pool.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's your problem. You should get out there in the pool and go swimming with those guys.
Not.
Next. So, what really cool thing that you get to see when you have a really great game is you get to see lines of people waiting to play them. And I know that's kind of a pain in the neck, and at least we have a couple of dial-ins at the show. I think there are 3 at the show that are open, right? One's in the tournament, and there's 2 open, right? So, at least there's a few of them. We don't have to have a gigantic line, but it's really cool. And I've heard a lot of comments. Who got to play dialed in so far? Okay, cool. Wow, that's pretty good. Almost everybody. What do you guys think about the game? No, it's really good. So everybody, if you want one, Mike's right here. You can give me money afterwards. But, no, that's great. I love it. You know, you don't have to buy a game. You can go play it. They'll be on location. They'll be at amusement centers. We're really selling a lot of games to operators now because they could get delivery of them, and the games are making money. First week, I don't think I'm giving anything away, but at Jack Bar, which is a little bar on, what is it, Havemeyer Street, Brooklyn, right? Jonathan Ehrlich, first week of the game, 75-cent play. The game did $728. Now, that's money like a Crane would make, or a Redemption game would make. And the next week it did around the same, and it's been that way. You know, I get that it's new. Even if the game dropped to $500 a week, what do you expect a pinball machine to make these days, Alan? A week? I mean, it's a business again. It's a business again. Alan, here's what you gotta say. Well, Alan won't divulge anything, but Alan, you gotta read the paper. Here's what it says. It says, here you go. On advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question on the grounds my answer may tend to incriminate me. So Alan's well practiced at that.
Yeah, well, it was the Play Meter survey.
Yeah, well, Play Meter's not really good. They have 4 people answer to the survey.
Low ball.
And if the wrong game comes up number 1, somebody calls and screams at them, "Get that game off there! I advertised with you." You know, and then they change
No, I
it.
mean,
But
the
replay, I can vouch for
Okay,
replay.
'cause
Because
you
I
write-
write for replay.
Yeah.
They're honest.
In their annual survey, but what do the operators report to replay in the
Well,
annual
they
survey?
lie too.
Yeah, they lowball it.
But you know, look, my reality of what a game earns is only my guess. What reality is what's in the cash box. And he can tell you what that is. And by him picking up another dialed in yesterday, that tells me his first one's making money. So even though he ordered 3, he could have canceled a couple of them if the game was a dog. Now he's saying he wants 5 and he only ordered 3. That's a really good sign. I like hearing that. Go ahead, go to the next one. There is Peter from Sunshine Laundromat. And a few weeks ago, I got to go to Sunshine for the first time. Really, really cool place. If you're ever in downtown Brooklyn, you know, when we set up the game, I delivered the game in the van I parked and schlepped the game in the door like old times and popped open the box with him and we set the game up. And it was a lot of fun. I really like doing that. Let's go to the next one. And there's Peter playing the game. So, okay. Jack Bar I mentioned. I guess that was a hardware store at some point, huh? How did I look at the order?
No, I just spoke with the owner.
Yeah, I guess he never spent any
There won't
money
be when it
changing
was
that.
hardware store. It used to be satellite mount.
There you go.
My games.
Well, let's go to the next one. And there's Jonathan on your right, my left, and me. And there's Alan,
Thank
who
you.
showed up. Why did you show up, did you say? What?
Steal some.
Steal some thunder. It was nice to have you there. You can show up on any delivery I do. Go ahead.
I was down the block.
Yeah. This guy is Ron, our distributor from Long Island. And I actually last week, he didn't want to drive all the way to Jersey, so I made him a deal. I said, I'll meet you in Brooklyn. I met him at this really great roast beef place, Brennan and Carr. And it's been there since 1938. And he bought me lunch, which was like $14. And it was really good. And I dropped off the game. So that was fun to do. So, you know, as I do those things, I don't really say to myself, knucklehead, you know, you have people that do this stuff. Why are you doing that stuff? I love doing that stuff. Why would I not want to do that stuff? As long as I can do it, why not? You know, so, yeah, so Ron got a game. That's a shot of my son, so that's the other Jersey Jack, I guess. And me, and that's, who's that, Butch? Pat Lawler in the middle, right? Yeah, that was a few weeks ago.
That's Little Jack. He's
That's
actually bigger than Big
Little Jack is bigger than me. We can't call him Little Jack anymore. I think we call him Young Jack now. But Jack is involved right now with Final Test. So, you know, he's involved with that. I mean, he's been in the industry since he was a little kid. And he's done every different job, went to college, came back, and wanted to work for the company. So, huh? Yep. Go ahead.
Yes.
Where was this? I don't know. It was in that picture, right? There you go. You made it to the final reel here. So, you know, they were picking up Dialed In, and we took a picture yesterday, so that was really cool. And they're gonna get to open it up and really enjoy it for a long, long time. Okay. And I guess this was just maybe yesterday. Again, you know, people just playing the game out there, just having fun. You know, I feel like kind of like a chef in some ways, where you're in the kitchen with a whole bunch of other people, and you're cooking a meal, and then you go out into the, you know, into the dining area, and you say, "How was your pizza? Everything was good? Great, good." So, you know, this is like my sample of how's the game, right? Because we only know that the game is good, like we have a good feeling about what we're doing while we're doing it all along the way. But reality check is not really your opinion. You're not just making it for you. You know, if you're making a vanity game and you're doing a one-off and you like it, that's great. We have to make something that is going to be well loved. I mean, it's a $9,000 game, so people are going to have to love that, at least $9,000 worth to buy it. So we want to make it be something that has value for the money and that you enjoy it and you love it forever. So that's what we put into it. And yeah, another shot at Dialed In, Wizard of Oz out there, Hobbits out there. They all look good to me. They look like 3 kids from the same family. Just, you know, they're all related, but they're all a little different. You know, I'm really happy the way they all came out. And so that's me, kind of like maybe at the end of the day, Jen comes out and takes pictures of different things, and I run around signing people's games or meeting people or putting out flyers now and then when they happen. And it's just a happy time when you have games like that rolling off the line. And there's a shot of a bunch of our games. That's Ministry of Pinball, distributor in the Netherlands. So it's really cool to see all these games getting out all over the world. Wizard of Oz. So I just want to mention, we're still building Wizard of Oz, and we're still selling Wizard of Oz. So, you know, Slash has his second Wizard of Oz. You know, next one. We delivered one to Brooklyn a few weeks ago. Anybody know who that guy is? Jason Sudeikis, right? So Jason is a crazy, wonderful pinball guy. And I don't say I became friends with him, but we do text a lot about pinball, which is kind of really cool. And he does Wizard of Oz. There's all 3 games somewhere at somebody's house. And what do you got? What else you got, Butch? That's a house in Luxembourg, one of our customers. So father and son each have their own Dialed In game. Okay? So I think the father has the standard, or the son has the standard, and the other one has the LE. So, you know, for the wives in the room, girlfriends in the room, you know, there are people crazier than your husband or your boyfriend. Okay, there's a guy. Okay, he's in Luxembourg, I get it. But he has one game for him and one game for his son.
So what does
Same
he
game.
say? Like, you know, son, someday both of these will be yours?
What the curtains? What the curtains? I don't know. I mean, you know, listen.
To each his own.
The other thing you never ask a customer when they want to buy 2 games is why. That's right, Mike? You know, when people call and they want to buy something, you just say, all right, well, you can do a wire transfer, or you can write me a check, I'll take your credit card number. Just say, why? Why would you want 2 games in your house? Because you know what that does? Customer says, hey, you know.
You said only 2?
Only 2. There you go, that's what I said. She get 3, how about your wife? You know, well, she can play one of ours. She said to me, well, she can play one of ours. I'm like, really? I think she plays Wizard of Oz, actually, is what it is. So, all the women, especially love Wizard of Oz. Men love it too, but that's a great game. You see it on location, it's great. We'll be building that game forever. This is the end of my part. So I'll take a couple of questions quickly, and then we'll get to David. And then Butch is probably going to talk for at least 5 or 10 minutes, right?
I usually
So,
3
yeah.
minutes.
Anybody have any questions so far on anything? Yes?
Hey Jack, I'm curious, how long will parts be available? Because these games are very complicated. They prove to be very reliable, which is great. But many of us collectors, we want these games for 20 years, 30 years, 100
So you know what's cool about parts?
So what do we do?
There was a period of time, but basically, our games are based on Williams parts, and we fully intend to do this forever, right? But if you go outside, you know, years ago, when Williams went out of business, everybody was panicked because there were no parts. And then you know what happened? All the people sprung up and started making parts, right? And then what happened was that companies got authorization to make parts, and then there were replacement parts, and there are people making mods. There are other people making mods for mods. So, you know, if you asked me that question, and it was like 15 years ago, I would really have a concern for it. But I'll tell you what, today, with the entrepreneurship, the ingenuity, and technology, we fix games from the 1930s and 1940s and 1950s that are out there now. I mean, there's a 1957 baseball game out there, and that's 60 years old, and we're fixing them with parts. So somehow there are going to be parts. You know, we designed this for the future. I mean, it has a motherboard in it, circuit board. I'm sure maybe the circuit board won't be that big, and it'll be that big, right? So I'm sure there'll be a way to support them. Or if not, you know, they'll be on pickers and somebody will be buying them for nothing. I'll be dead by then, don't worry about it. Yes, that young man over there.
Are you still making Toy Story?
Are we still making Toy Story?
Still making, when did we start?
You know, it's real hard to lie to a kid. You know, I don't know, I've read those things myself. And, you know, we're not making Toy Story.
If you read it on the internet, it's gotta be true, right?
We're not making it.
That's $9,000 Dad can save.
Right. Well, making means present tense, right?
You both need one though, right?
Like, maybe we'll make it, maybe we won't make it. I can't answer those questions, I'm sorry. What did I say before, on the grounds of, what did I say?
Incriminating.
Yeah, plead the fifth. Okay. Anybody else quick? Yes, another troublemaking kid. What's, yes. This is the future of pinball, by the way. Is you and all the young people. You guys are all the future, and the ladies too.
Notice the little drones on dialed in.
Yes,
And I noticed they're quite similar to one I have myself.
yes,
Did you source them from somewhere or?
yes.
Okay.
They are real.
They came from a drone company. We didn't make
You put
those
the right
drones.
motors on those and turn the propellers, put the right propellers on those.
The whole game will fly away.
No, we put the wrong ones on on purpose and, you know, fasten them to the playfield. So
See that guy in the front afterwards, he can tell you about it so much that you'll fall asleep.
yeah.
Tell you so much. Okay, well, how about David? How about, so now let's hear another question. What the heck? Oh, Dan, you don't get a question, we know you.
I got something to share, not a question.
Okay, well, here's the mic.
Well, that will save my voice, thank you. Been talking about the charity so much over this weekend that my voice is gone. But we just went back to Mass General, where we went last year. And we had a machine, a Wizard of Oz machine there for 2 years now. We just did the audits last week, and it was over 30,000 plays on it in 2 years. Is that not incredible? The Wizard of Oz, the kids loved it in that setting. They're using it while they're undergoing treatments and everything like that, and it's there for them to play. 30,000 plays in 2 years. Really
I was lucky enough to go there with you last year and see the game. And I saw some pictures on Facebook the other day. They were sharing, somebody was tearing the game down. And I gotta be honest with you, the game looked great. I gotta look at it again and say, did they say 3,000 plays or 30,000 plays? The game looked great. You know, so that was good. All right, so without further ado, and we'll take some questions later. Well,
Did you ever see the movie Truth or Dare? This is the part where Madonna's wireless mic is jammed by the other person's wireless mic. So I have to shut your mic off while he's talking.
I can still have mine.
all right, so here's what I'll do. You want to introduce David? Why don't you introduce David? Okay. Let me introduce you. Come on. I'm gonna have pizza.
All right. After I say his name, I'm shutting this mic off.
Don't make me say his name.
Stupid jamming sounds. Sound guy extraordinaire, now in his 4th decade of doing sound for games.
Seriously? It is.
Yeah, it is. David Thiel.
Testing. 4 decades. Boy, that's humbling. Hello, fantastic New England. I came out 2,478 miles to be with you here today. I gave a little talk this morning.
And I want to talk about Dialed In now in detail, because I didn't, knowing I was going to do this, I didn't do that at the morning show at 10 a.m.
7 a.m. Seattle.
7 CS. What's that? Yeah. What is it now? Seattle. I don't know. I don't care. Okay. So I do want to say a couple introductory things that I'm not a Jersey Jack employee. I have 3 clients, and I have other games for other people. But I have to say, I really like working for Jack. He's one of my favorite clients. He's, as long as he's in the room, he's my favorite client. And I really love the projects because these projects are attempting to be the best. There are no shortcuts. There's no, well, let's ship these babies out and we'll fix them later. There's not a lot of that going on. And I lived through almost 2 years of Hobbit development, and I'm still upright. But I'm not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about Dialed In. Now that's a sound from Dialed In. When you have put your last initial in on the high score table, you get and you all should just go, ah. I hope. That's, no, I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it.
I won't say anything about an orgasm. Okay, so why do I just, oh yeah. So Dialed In is the first machine in 11 years since I resumed my career doing pinball machines that has ever been down in my studio. And I did that to honor the effort of re-engineering the back box, and we redid the sound system, and it's a Pat Lawler game, and I've done a lot of pinball games, and I know when I do coin-operated devices, they really should be down where I'm working. But you see that's 18 concrete steps that go to my studio that's underneath the garage. So all the other pinballs I've ever done live in my garage, which is 18 steps up, and it's unheated, and so it's not an optimum thing when I make some sounds and I go, gee, I wonder how they'll sound on the pinball machine, and it's not good. So, you don't know these guys, but these are 2 local pinball heroes from Seattle who came over and helped me get that beast. Jack makes them heavy, down those 18 steps. And I learned exactly what I already knew. This is the way to work. And since November of last year, I've had this machine down in my studio, and I have worked on it like crazy. I'm really happy with the result. And these guys, the second thing I learned is these guys says, never do this again. Or at least, if you do, don't call us. So I'm going to do it a different way, but I'm going to continue to do it this way now. I'm getting an industrial lift that takes it from the garage and is one of these things, you crank it down, it's going to be great.
Hello, I'm calling from Dialed In Electronics. We have detected a problem with your phone.
Now, one of the things as a sound guy, I mean, sound guys typically come up as what? Musicians? Yeah, and I was a musician, and I play music, and I write music, and then I make sound effects, and I do all this stuff. And the first thing you learn when you do a pinball machine is nobody cares about any of that. What are the call-outs? What does the game say? Who says what? I mean, this is the high order bit for how we say, ooh, a sound package is good or bad. So let's talk about that. There are 627 call-outs in the game currently, and they're like mostly being called across 16 characters. There's a character named Mandy. So here, Mandy, you think Alexis or Siri. This is a quantum effect cell phone, and Mandy's out there trying to help you. She talks to you from the cell phone.
Shoot the theater. Nice shot.
Okay, that's Mandy. Now, oh, it's up there. Never mind. That's the woman who was Candy 2000 in Pat's game Safecracker. They found her. She still lives. And so she's Mandy.
Mandy is Candy.
Mandy is Candy.
Mandy.
Candy is Mandy. We also, as part of the metaphor, the whole game is sort of wrapped in this modern media thing where this newscaster comes in and tells you stuff, and there's that bar across the bottom. Who has not read the stuff, the text going across the crawl on the bottom of the screen? Anybody? There's funny stuff, like the Cubs win the pennant.
Who knew?
And when they put that on the game, they had not done so. So people in Bensonville are taking personal responsibility for that end of days event. So the newscaster.
This newscast brought to you by Crazy Bob's Phone Store. Crazy phones, crazy prices, crazy deals.
There you go. There are 11 disasters in the game. I'm giving stuff away now. And when a disaster occurs, if you look at your cell phone, somebody's calling you and saying something about their particular flavor of disaster. And here's some of those.
Here comes another big one. There's a whole lot of shaking going on. That's the end of this ship. We'll just sail right over that. The little spaceships are shooting every which way. No need to rush. You got more time.
All right, and there's 8 more of those. And per disaster, there's like maybe 20 of those, so you won't hear the same ones all the time. Okay, that's the call-out package. I want to talk about sound effects and fanfares. I'm not going to say much, but this is one of the bigger ones. I've watched people play, and they're getting this effect a fair amount, and it's one of the really fun ones. Okay, and that's the Big Bang, and I had to do that one about 4 times, because normally when I do these things, JP in the Netherlands, who does a lot of the graphics and certainly most of the stuff that's on the screen, will do something for a scoring event or a start mode or end mode, and then these little videos. And so I get the video and I put it in my package and I look at it and I figure out what kind of sounds it should be. So I did that with this. And then I sent it off to Chicago and they used it, and they said, well, that's okay, but it needs to be bigger. Because they had extended that whole event with light shows, playfield things, sweeping and doing crazy stuff, which I had not even taken into an account. Let's see, I think we can play it one more time and you can see what I'm saying. Yes? No? Sure. All right, and that's a profound event. Big Band's worth 50,000 points, which in the uninflated scoring of JJP is quite a few points. On a Stern game, that would just be like, you hit a target.
Drain.
Drain, yeah, it'd be nothing. We save in commas.
Yeah. Way to cut that bond cost.
Now I want to talk about, this was an original product. I've done a few of those. My very first product was an original product, Laser War. And there's really nothing scarier than a blank piece of paper or a clean canvas. And you got to try to figure out, you find the voice of the project. Now, if you're doing The Hobbit, the voice is a given. You know what you're doing. There's dwarves and elves and a story and all this stuff. It's very clear. Dialed In was not so clear initially. OOM is what I used to call main play. Main play music, right? Main play music is the music you hear after you hit the start button and after you plunge the ball, and the ball's got a playfield valid and it's on the playfield. You haven't really done anything yet, but you're trying to qualify things and hit targets and make stuff happen. That's main play music. I now think of it as OOM, which is out of mode, because main play to me kind of means it's one piece of music. OOM just means you're not in a mode. So there's a bunch of flavors of not being in a mode that I like to use. Now, Dialed In If you notice I have a puzzled look, it's because this is the wrong version of this talk. But we'll just go with it. In fact, I want to take that back because I wanted you to sing along. Now, the words are, I've got a new phone. It's better than yours. I've got a new phone. I don't know how to use it. Okay, now don't be scared because singing is just modulated talking. And we're going to sing along. We put the words up, and I expect at least 2 of you to do it. Got a new phone. It's better than yours. I got a new phone. Don't know how to use it. Whoops. Now, I really believe that an original product like Dial In, which doesn't have a previous investment of 7.5 hours of watching Hobbit movies, you need something that you can grab onto as quickly as possible. So this is sort of the McDonald's jingle thing, right? Write a snappy little tune that will hopefully implant itself around your cochlea, and you will then be compelled to satisfy the need to hear that tune again, and you'll have to buy the game. And if that didn't work, knowing what the lyrics are, you're really messed up now. You'll be leaving the room kind of, I've got a new phone. So if I manage to implant that earworm, I have done my job.
It's got a Dave version too that goes, I've got a flip phone. It's older than yours. Show him, Dave, come on. Beat me up, Scotty.
Welcome to the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, and the only reason I have this is because I am a slave to my studio, which is 18 step down those concrete steps, and I live there 7 days a week. 10 days go by where I don't use my car. I mean, at some point you have to go to Costco and buy more toilet paper. So I don't need portable communication. What's the point? I do have. Yeah, now just chill out. I have an iPod. And as long as I'm within Wi-Fi, I have the iPhone experience minus the $100 a month. Okay.
Minus the ringing all the time, too.
Yes, minus it. Oh, yeah, it's really great. I like it better. Okay, so after you do this, after you've gone and visited a mode, you are now in the exalted state of ball lock enabled. And so the music changes to let you know that. And you can't sing along to this one. Well, all right then. But after you lock a ball, you're in the truly exalted state of multi-ball ready. All you have to do is stick the ball under the phone in that hole, and you will start the multi-ball. This one you can sing along with, but we're not going to bother. But if you feel compelled, go for it. The last part are the Crazy Bob modes. So these guys wanted, I mean, I'm not going to do the modes, the music for the modes, but I'm going to do some of there are 3 simple stand-up targets on the left side, and you hit these guys and they enable the Crazy Bob store. And people who know Pat's games know something about Crazy Bob. Well, Crazy Bob runs the phone store where you get your phone. So you hit these guys, that enables scoop on the left side, a trap door, and you go in there, and then there are 3 events and 3 quick 2-ball multi-balls. So
Don't
there's-
talk too much about that, you get into my.
Okay, I won't explain them.
Okay.
I'm just saying days exist because I got pictures. So, emoji overload, if you haven't seen it, overloads both the big screen and the telephone with emojis. And they're quite annoying. They really pretty much obscure the screen. You have to hit ramps and stuff, you can move them around. If you hit pop bumpers, you can make them go away. Okay, and these are Crazy Bob tunes, so they're all a little wacky. Betty, I won't say it. Betty's in the back. She's our quantum mechanic. She's in overalls and she has a wrench. Quantum.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, okay. I'm waiting for it. Okay, and this multi-ball, all you do is you start it, and then you try to make the left ramp shot, and she's going up and down. And every time she's down, she diverts the ball from going all the way around the ramp. And if she does that, that's a lose. If you time it so that you make the left ramp shot so she goes all the way around, then that's a jackpot. Rinse and repeat until you drain. And you hear the metal, right? It's a wrench. It's a big thing. Okay. Then there's another mode activity, and this one involves the camera. So the next time you qualify the Bob stuff, you go in, you potentially will get the lottery frenzy. And what that does is it's a timed mode, and while it's going on, it shows you a picture of a lottery ticket on the screen, and you have to like free a hand up off of a flipper button long enough to do this. And if it picks up that gesture, it wipes off your lottery ticket and shows you what the points you get. Then, if you keep going in the theater, you get more lottery tickets, and you can get more points. Yeah, there's kind of a lottery. Okay.
How do you know you're supposed to wave your hands?
Oh, somebody in the
I'm
arcade.
going to tell
It
you that
says it.
afterwards, actually. Yeah, so.
It says it on the instrument. When the mode starts, it says that, right? And if somebody kindly in the arcade sees you, not doing it, they will go, do that. Okay, then there's another quick 2-ball multi-ball. And there's that guy, I mean, you've mostly played it, right? So the QED guy, quantum electric dude, is kind of annoying sometimes. He semi-blocks your shots. You'll love this mode. Your whole mission in life is to hit him. And if you hit him 15 times, you get a SIM card to improve your phone. So, he goes back and forth, 2-ball, multi-ball, a lot of fun. Yeah, and every time you hit him, he's a jackpot. All right. Then there's the selfie mode. I don't need to describe the selfie mode. We know what that is. But when you played it on the show floor, you may not have heard the selfie music, which is kind of fun. can sing along. Okay. And the last one is Drones Gone Wild. Obviously a play on something. And what do? You hit drones. I'm spacing on what you do, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay, I'll explain.
I'm not even gonna say, because Joe will Joe,
Oh my goodness.
man.
That's fighting words, buddy.
Butch, Pete will explain it. It's been a long day. All right, rock on. That's my contribution. Thank you very much. And I'll turn this on.
Okay.
Jack is now once again empowered.
Don't give him back the mic, please.
Oh, all right.
We switch inputs them.
Right,
There we go. Okay, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, one of the things I do for Jersey Jack is write manuals, so I'm just going to show you a couple of little things that I'm trying to do new in the manual. Every time, like Jack was saying, when we first put out The Wizard of Oz and we started working on Hobbit, we tried to make our last game, our worst game ever, and we're trying to improve it along. So even though, the first version of the dialed-in manual came out in a digital version, it's about 75% done, maybe it's 200 pages already. And it's gonna, every one of these is gonna get bigger. I get like the software guys, I like to add things back to the previous version. So features that our software people are putting into the new games, they say, hey, that would be cool to add to Wizard of Oz, and they go back and they add it, and we release new software update, and now that features in all our games. So I kind of try to do that with the manuals too, and make them where they're cohesive and make sense, and consistency is a big deal. Consistency is a real driving point with me. It's a discipline, right? And it's hard to get everybody else on the same page. So I'm kind of the driving guy for that. So in the Wizard of Oz, we had black and white assembly drawings, and they looked such. In Hobbit, I decided to go a step further, and we're printing these in color now. It's kind of a funny story. When we started that, Jack used to tell me over and over again, tell me I'm making a white body manual, it's wider on the sides, and it's going to be like the screen, and he says, well, we have to print black and white, so make sure you keep it where we can print black and white. So I'd use reds and things like that. Say, that's going to print in brown and the grayish color, it'll be fine. And before long, when he sees the final product, he says, we've got to print these in color now. And I'm like, oh, really? We do? Okay. So now we print in color. So knowing that we're going to do color for Hobbit, I said, why don't I make these drawings, instead of just that boring black and white, make them in color now, so that when you see the extensive parts here, some of the pieces from different angles, you can see which part they are, rather than just everything being in black. So the improvement for dialed in now is we're going to use color, and we're going to do exploded drawings. So now we can show all the different pieces here as they go together, and then show views of them, and everything's in color. So just ways I go to make my life a little more difficult and make things take a little longer. So Jack says I bore everybody to death with manual stuff, so I promise I'm moving on now. So everybody walks up and they say, how do I play dialed in? When I actually wrote this out, I had a little conundrum there. I'm like, can I put an exclamation point in front of it? So I had a grammatical moment there where I'm like, can I even do that? But I did. So how do I play dialed in? You walk up to one of our games, you look at the play field, and you see all these lights. You hear this wonderful music and sounds and things. First thing you want to do is launch the ball. That's probably the most control you're going to have for the rest of the game, right? Is you're launching the ball. So what can I do to begin with? Well, skill shots. So this is a drawing from the manual that I put together. And so you have these inserts in the actual shooter lane, and they're going to be moving around. So as you shoot the ball up here, you're trying to drop the ball into this little inline kicker back here. You shoot it too hard, it's going to go over the ramp and come back down to your flipper, which sometimes is desirable too if you want to try and make some other shots. But you're trying to drop it up here. It's kind of like Rudy's head, behind Rudy's head in Funhouse. And you're going to drop it back into this hole here, and whichever one of these is lit, when it drops in there is what you'll get. And those include a hold your spider, so remember how many times you hit the spider, hold your bonus X, hold your transit, hold your kilowatts, your drones, all these different areas. The drones area here, the kilowatts area is the little guy going back and forth. So it's going to remember all these different things. And of course, one of the things is your big points, not. Everybody knows that, right? Not really big points. I'm losing my battery here, so I'm going to switch colors here. Maybe that one will work better. Yeah, there we go. If I point in the right direction. So all these different things are going to happen based on your skill shot. Now, you have a super skill shot, and that if you make it into that, now what that's going to do is kick the ball back out to your upper flipper here. So you shoot this ramp, the side ramp, upper left ramp up here, you're going to get the super skill shot. And hidden under that left ramp that you can't really see is the SIM card slot. Shoot it into there, and you're going to get a super duper skill shot. So just some things to try, like I say, in that very early part of the game when you're actually in control of the ball and want to try something. There's your skill shots. Two-ball multi-balls. I was going to talk a lot about this, but then David gave away all, gave my thunder away right there. So we'll talk about it anyway. This one be working even less than the other one. It's amazing. So bob targets. These little guys over here. This is a bob target. I'm trying to turn my head and talk at the same time. Sorry. So B-O-B, you're going to spell that. The first time you do that, you open the trap door, which is underneath, again, hidden from you. A lot of the cool shots in this game are actually behind or underneath things. So it's kind of surprising. You shoot the ball up there and you're like, it didn't come around the orbit. Where'd it go? It drops into this trap door up in here. So you spell bob, shoot it into that trap door when it opens. And the first time, you're going to get one of these emoji overloads, selfie time, or lottery frenzy. And interesting, you ask, how do I know I'm supposed to wave my hand and stuff like that? We have these discussions with some of our software guys. They want to keep everything a secret, and they want you to discover that. I don't know how they expect you to discover that, so that's why Dave and I kind of get in trouble with them. We give things away and tell you how to play the game. I mean, it's much funner to try those things, right, than to never know they even exist. So we get into these little heated discussions, what we call them, a little?
Oh no, it's all really rational.
Yeah, it's high level stuff, but still, we think that, if you don't know that there's no jackpot to be made, how do you know to shoot for it? You're not going to discover that by accident very many times. So yeah, in the emoji overload, the whole screen is covering up with these emojis. They're bouncing around, they're filling up, they're covering up where you can't see the scores and things like that. You're supposed to hit and make them go away, and if you can clear the screen of them, then you complete that emoji overload mode. Or if it times out and they completely cover up the screen, then you get some smaller number of points for not completing it. So selfie time is going to fill up the screen with pictures every time you make one of the major shots on the play field, under the theater, around one of the orbits, hitting a ramp shot, something like that. You're going to hit a ka-ching, ka-ching, and it's just, it's kind of fun to try and make weird faces and kind of glance up at them as you're playing. And that's a timed mode, so after a certain number of times, it'll tell you how many selfies you were able to take, and give you points commensurate with that. In Lottery Frenzy, you're going to get one of those lottery tickets up on there, and you've got to, like Dave said, free up your hand and scratch it off, and look up and down, make sure you're scratching it and it's going away, and you've scratched enough before you can reach back down to your flipper again. So well timed. I'm horrible at that, and as soon as I take my hand off the flipper, that's when the ball comes down. But it's fun to try and do. The second time you spell Bob, you're going to get a bonus X increase. The third time you spell the Bob target, and this is after shooting, you spell it the second time and shoot it up into the trap door up above. So the third time you do that, you're going to start one of these two-ball multi-balls. And there are other multi-balls in the game too. This is just a small portion of it. And we could go on all day about how to play the game. It's that deep. But I just wanted to give you a few things to try. So that monkey wrench, as Dave was saying, shoot the left ramp up here. Her arm comes up and down, and you're trying to keep the ball from being diverted onto this upper play field and drop it here. You want to make it all the way back around. It gives you another flipper shot to make it again. And you can just try and time that with her arm going up and down, up and down. And after you drain one of your balls, it's two-ball multi-ball, and as soon as one of those drains, you go back to normal play mode. QED, the little guy moves back and forth, as he was saying, with 2 balls now. You're trying to smack him as often as you can. He's in constant motion, so it's difficult. Get a bunch of those, and you get one of those SIM cards to update your phone. And the SIM cards are really basically what you're trying to do. The first thing you got to get through, or get your mind around when you start playing dialed in, is I'm not trying to save the city. I'm trying to destroy it. So you're trying to knock everything down, knock the buildings down, leave it a smoldering pile of rubble when you're done. And that's just, you're destroying this city that is linked to this phone, and your success is to discover all its capabilities, but in discovering its capabilities, you're destroying the city in the process. So the drone's gone wild is the drone target. There's a stand-up target right underneath here. So you're going to shoot that, and when these little rubber switches, there's a switch behind each of these rubbers that activates. You'll see the drone's little propellers come on and activate. Sometimes when they pass by on the ramp, they'll do that. But you're hitting this drone target here. Every time you hit that, you get a jackpot. You get a super jackpot that will appear in the theater. So a lot of things are combined with the theater because they've got another screen that they can put on here. And a lot of things are instructions and things like that are coming on your cell phone to tell you what to shoot at. But right after hitting one of those targets, if you can put a ball up into the theater, you'll knock down I think it's a virtual drone of some sort, right?
Yes.
Right, yes. And let's see, yeah, I think that pretty much covers all the 2-ball, multi-ball stuff. Some other things that we've talked about, kind of Dave and I both were talking about this in the other seminar that I did, the virtual targets. It's a really cool thing that you can do, and it's a really cool thing that you'll never know about if someone doesn't tell you to try to get it. So, you know, we want you to experience these neat things, but there's no spinners, there's no bash targets, there's no captive balls, there's no drop targets in the game. However, with a 3D, like Dave described it as a mini Pinball 2000 display up here, you're displaying something that looks very three-dimensional. You can actually make drop targets appear in that theater. You can make a spinner appear in that theater. You can make a captive ball and a bash target. And it's got a magnet underneath the play field here, and it's got optos so it knows when the ball's there, it can grab it. So it can give you the effect of hitting a drop target, which would send the ball right back down to you, and it would, on the screen, show the drop target disappearing, and a captive ball being hit, and a spinner spinning, all those sorts of things. Well, how those are qualified is the first thing you need to do to get a trained bash target, you do these left ramp hurry ups. So when I shoot the left ramp, the ball comes around here and returns and drops into this lane right here. It starts a hurry up feature for me to try and hit something in the theater. Something shows up and a timer starts going down, and I have a few seconds to hit it. If I can do that as soon as the ball drops and on the first try put it up in there, then the first time I do that, I get a station 3 qualified, which station 3 is this guy right here, and that's your lock. So we'll light this lock insert to let you make a locked ball up there in the physical ball lock that's underneath station number 3. If I do it the second time, nothing happens basically, except for I need to try it one more time. So the third time I do it, that's when this train bash target will appear. And it's train doors, you said, right? So the ball is smacked into the door three times. What was it, Dave, you said?
Yep. It deforms them each time.
Yeah, so each time you hit it, it dents it, makes them open. And the third time the ball can go on through, and you've defeated that bash target and gotten some big points. Another way to bring up a virtual target is with the spider target, which is right here on the edge of here. You see a rubber spider on this little ramp sign. When you're going to shoot right here, this is the spider target, and that's the insert for it to let you know when you hit it. You hit 3 spider targets. Well, let me back up. When you hit it one time, you see a spider come down, lowered on a web inside that little screen there. It looks like a 3-dimensional spider that's lowered down into the theater. You shoot the ball after hitting that target, shoot the ball up in there in a certain amount of time, and you knock that spider out and you get big points. If you can do that 3 times, So that combination of hitting the target and putting it up into the theater, hitting it, putting it up into the theater 3 times, then you bring a spinner, a virtual spinner, into here for a certain period of time. When you shoot the ball through there, the magnet won't grab it or anything, and just like a spinner hits it, and you'll see the spinner spinning, and however many times you can hit that in that time will give you a bunch of points. Next thing up will be the drone targets. If I hit the drone target here, 3 drone targets, and then once into the theater, when I hit the drone target here, I'll see a little drone appear in the theater, a 3-dimensional drone figure, and I shoot it up into there. If I do that 3 times, hit that target, then hit it up into there, I bring up a captive ball. And so this captive ball then has another drone back up behind it too. It looks like it's off in the distance, and you hit, make a Newton ball sort of effect. You hit the one in front, it knocks the ball behind up into this little drone and destroys it. And you can do that multiple times and get lots of points. And last but not least is the QED targets and hitting the theater. So you're going to smack the QED, it brings up a little guy here in a little generator, I think, of some sort inside there that you hit. And if you can do that 3 times, hit the QED guy, then make it past him while he's moving. Every time you hit him, he's here, he moves to there. Hit him here, he moves back and forth. So you're going to try and hit behind when he's moving or around him when he's in your way, kind of. But you can do that 3 times. You'll bring in an infinite line of virtual drop targets. So it'll look like a line of drop targets off into the distance. And when you hit one of them, the one in front falls down and they all move forward one. And you can do that for a certain period of time and earn a bunch of points. So those are just very quick things. There's also little things with the theater, again, tied in with the drones. If you bounce the ball off of these, there's a magnet underneath this center drone here that you'll notice kicks the ball around erratically. Each time you hit one of these switches in here, it takes your package delivery progress up towards the top. When it reaches the top, you'll see the drone in the theater drop down and drop a package. You shoot that package and you get points too. So just a few things to try. There's lots of other multi-balls where you hit the QED guy and the phone is lit in green. You can drop it in there and start modes, and all those kind of things are happening. So there's just a ton going on, and we'll get into it a little more. I just wanted to kind of scratch the surface with you, give you a small taste of what all's available in the game to shoot for. So it's a lot of fun. And with that, I'll bring Jack back up. Somebody wake Jack up. There he is. He says I put you to sleep. So. Here it comes, here it comes.
I was a young guy when I told you started.
Yeah, we postponed the fire jugglers to after you're done.
Really? So what are they doing? They didn't burn anything yet?
They're sitting out there with a match.
Oh, they
It's drying out there. Live from outside the studio.
You fire juggler, I think? Okay. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope everybody enjoyed the pizza. Any final questions? Anybody have anything to? Yes.
Jack, when you unbox the dialed in,
Yes.
how many plays will it have gotten this weekend?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a game.
I don't know. We'll probably do some audits on it. I know. I think Gabe owns one, and I don't know, Mike. They were sold to customers that didn't mind us opening them up. So.
Dave's guessing 500-600 over here.
Yeah, probably like 600 or 700 plays, something like that, I would guess. So, anyone else? Well, thank you all, all of you people. Without you, we're not in football. We're on the play. Thanks.